Hello, a warm welcome to you from SGT University. I am Dr. Vikas from Faculty of Behavior Sciences. Today, we are learning about psychophysiological scaling method. Psychophysics is the quantitative relationship between physical and psychological events of a scale. The methods which are based on the psychophysics are method of limits, method of average error, and method of constant stimuli.
Suppose that 20 objects of the same size and shape, but of different weights, are to be arranged in an order from heaviest to the lightest. What you will do? Obviously, you will record the weight of each object and arrange them in terms of the measured weight. Further, suppose that no scale is available to weighing the objects and they will have to be arranged in an order from heaviest to the lightest. Then what you will do? One obvious way to do this is give all these objects to a group of individuals with the request to arrange them in order of heaviness. Still, another way may be to present all the objects in all possible pairs and ask each individual to judge which one of the each pair is heavier. Subsequently, on the basis of the average judgment, all the 20 subjects can be ordered from the heaviest to the lightest. The scale used for weighing the objects is known as the physical scale, and the order in which the objects are arranged in terms of the measured weight is known as the physical continuum. The order in which objects are arranged on the basis of judgments made by the subjects is known as psychological continuum. Several attempts have been made to investigate the relationship between the ordering of the objects on a non-physical continuum and the ordering of the same objects on a non-psychological continuum formed by judgment of individuals. The method used in studying such a relationship is known as psychophysiological scaling method. The term psychophysics was coined by G.T. Fechner, who defined it as an exact science of the functional relations of dependency between body and mind. For the first time, he set out the quantitative relationship between the magnitude of sensations occurring in mind and the magnitude of the physical stimulus that produce these sensations. For investigating the quantitative relationship between the magnitude of sensations and magnitude of physical stimulus, he developed some experimental methods which are still in use. Before examining these methods, it is essential to explain the meaning of some common terms used in psychophysical measurements, such as threshold, point of subjective equality, and the point of objective equality. First one is the threshold. The concept of threshold was introduced by John Herbert in 1824. The Latin equivalent of the word threshold is also known as Lyman. Threshold refers to that boundary value on a stimulus dimension which separates the stimulus that produces a response from the stimulus that makes no response or a different response. The threshold in psychophysical measurement is ordinarily divided into absolute Lyman or differential Lyman. Absolute threshold. It is also known as Ridge-Lyman. It refers to that minimal stimulus value which produces a response 50% of the time. Andreas has defined absolute threshold as a boundary point in sensation separating sensory experience from no such experience when stimulus value reached a particular point. Thus, AL defines the minimal limit of the responding to the stimulation. RL for a single physical stimulus is not the same for different individuals.
It varies from the individual to individual and sometimes situation to situation for the same individual. Hence, some people may perceive the stimulus at lower value, while others may perceive the same stimulus at higher value. That is why RL is statistically defined as means of all RLs taken over the several triads of the subject for the same stimulus.
The difference threshold or differential Lyman. DL is the difference between two stimulus which can be perceived 50% of the time. DL defines the individual capacity to respond to difference in sensitivity. It is also known as just noticeable difference, which is the smallest difference between the two stimulus that can be detected by the subject. A stimulus must be increased or decreased by 1 J&D in order that the change be perceived. Usually, for calculating J&D, two stimuli are presented to the subject. One of them have a constant value throughout the presentation and known as standard stimulus. The second value is varied throughout the presentation and is known as the comparable stimulus. Suppose the experimenter takes standard stimulus is 100 gram weight and start presenting comparable stimulus by a very small value at 30 gram. Then he started to increase the value of comparable stimulus by very small value, that is 5 gram, until it can no longer be distinguished from the standard stimulus. This is known as the lower differential threshold. Similarly, suppose the experimenter may start comparable stimulus at a much higher value than standard stimulus, like 140 gram, and started to decrease the comparable stimulus by very small value, that is 5 gram, until it can no longer be distinguished from standard stimulus. This is known as the upper difference threshold. The upper and lower threshold represents the upper and lower limit of the interval of uncertainty, or IU. The interval of uncertainty indicates the span or range where the responses of the subject are uncertain or the subject is not able to differentiate between standard stimulus and comparable stimulus. The DL or J&D is half the difference between the upper and lower threshold. Hence, one can calculate DL by with the help of this formula. DL is equal to upper threshold minus lower threshold divided by 2, or interval of uncertainty by 2. The DL, like RL, taken over several trials, by the same subject for physical stimulus is not identical in differential situations. RL is a point on a physical stimulus which is detected 50% of the time, whereas DL is not a point, rather it is a span or distance or range where the amount of change in magnitude of the stimulus can be detected 50% of the time. Next is the point of subjective equality. It is another important concept used in psychophysical measurement. We can calculate or we can think like point of objective equality is equal to standard stimulus, whereas constant error is equal to point of subjective equality minus standard stimulus. Thus, judgment or discriminations differ significantly from the standard stimulus. The presence of constant error is assumed. If CE is negative, it indicates underjudgment, and on the other hand, if CE is positive, it indicates overjudgment.
So today we discussed about psychophysiological scaling method, and the next time we meet we will be exploring psychological test constructions. Keep learning, keep growing. See you next time.